Roots bend the shape of these concrete blocks, attempting to hide the ruins of a time once was. But for some people, these withered blocks represent a past to be seen and celebrated.
Every community must have a past, otherwise it's nothing. It's a blank slate and you have no depth to it.
The depth to Nanaimo's history lays mostly underground from the coal mining days.
We have a history of about 163 years of white settlement in the area. Almost 100 of those were devoted or driven by coal mining. So it's something that has taken up a huge chunk of our history here. And it's funny to me that there's less in the landscape that you sometimes wouldn't actually know Nanaimo was a coal mining community.
The biggest coal mine closed in 1938. The industry fueled the economy and helped shape the cultural and social aspects, as well as how the community developed. Now, the remnants of 2/3 of Nanaimo's history lay underneath the cityscape, except the Morden mine.
Nobody knows why they chose a concrete structure, but they did, because in those days that wasn't common to have concrete. It was actually very odd, new development, new technology, new materials, and particularly for a structure like that, which is fairly complicated.
The decision to make this mine out of concrete is why it's the only one still standing. Most were made out of wood and have long rotten away. This tattered structure represents the above-ground operation of the coal mining days.
So you think coal mining and you sort of visualize some sort of dirty miners and somehow you visualize an underground shaft. What you don't usually visualize is the massive scale of the above ground working. So Morden's a really good way to see how big was this and how many people, you can imagine how many people it took to operate something like this.
We can see that in books, in films, photographs, museum, but this speaks for itself.
The Morden mine operated from 1913 until 1932. This mine saw hundreds of miners operate it throughout the years.
You can actually visualize miners coming to work here and going underground and going back home much easier than you can in a separate building where it's been kind of crystallized as an exhibit. There's certainly exhibits have great value, but that on-site experience is so very different. It's more like you're almost living through that. You can see things, imagine things easier.
This over 100-year-old structure is the last visible display of what is left of coal mining in Nanaimo. The Friends of the Morden Mine Society are seeking funding to do emergency repairs and restore the mine. The hope is to keep the structure lasting for another 100 years for future generations to experience.
Nanaimo is founded on the coal mining era. It started the city. You know, a lot of people, families grew up based on the coal mining. I think we owe it to all these people and to the next generation to preserve some, and so that we can show.
It's something that should be done for tourism, but it should also be done just for the people who live here all the time, so that they have a sense of how this community was built, what it's all about, and possibly shape it into the future.
At Morden Mine in Cedar, I'm Rae-Anne the Plant.